Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is my review for Witch of East End Season 2, Episode 7, Art of Darkness. And this episode was really good. Definitely really good. It was not perfect in my opinion. I did not like it as much as last week's episode. I thought last week's episode was better. I really enjoyed this episode though. Still thought it was a very good episode. It was not the best episode of the season, but definitely things are building up, and I'm really looking forward to the next episode, definitely. So, let's just get to this episode. First of all, I loved the beginning of the episode. Frederick has this new girlfriend, Caroline, and the two are having sex and everything. By the way, Caroline, hot as fuck. This girl just hot as fuck, really. He has another seizure. Now, of course, he's having another seizure and everything, which is not good. And, basically, Joanna pops in at that exact moment and does a quick healing spell to get him back to normal. And, yeah, so he's having these seizures now, so we don't know why, but Joanna then finds herself feeling very jealous of Wendy's newfound bond with Frederick, as it means that now she's the odd one out because, Wendy knew about the seizures, and Joanna really didn't, so Joanna's kind of feeling left out about this. So as it means that she's now the odd one out, she didn't even know Caroline existed. Caroline, it turns out, is an environmental science professor, and before a previous night, so she decided to have her over for dinner, and basically catch up with her a little bit. That she just wants to catch up with her, so she actually knows what's going on with her. So, basically, Wendy denies that she's in love with Tommy, even as she slept with one of his sweaters due to him being gone on a camping trip with his daughter. I thought that was funny. Dash finds, we'll talk about Dash in a second. Basically, Frederick then explains that, just as Caroline expresses worry about Joanna, seeing her in a compromised state the previous night, she's like, well, she saw my tits, so, that was definitely a funny line. Think about it. Okay, let me just say something. If I was having sex with a girl, and my mom walked in, I don't know how things would be. It would be very awkward, probably. So, Frederick explains that his mother isn't judgmental, and that going to dinner would allow two of the most important women in his life to get to know one another. So she accepts, but when she leaves, Frederick is confronted by the presence of Tarkoff, one of the king's minions. He gets spelled into submission, and with Tarkoff mentioning that he's there to ensure that Frederick's mission to bring the king back through the portal and into East End is making progress, it turns out that Tarkoff is actually a telepath who has been in East End for the past 400 years, acting as something of a liaison for the king. And even though the Mandragora, sent through the portal was to find a subtle host for the king's return to this realm. That's really what Frederick is supposed to do. So Frederick explains that he had to put the creature down due to its killing spree, and the fact that his family were hunting it anyway. Since the king isn't exactly happy with Frederick's performance, the next avenue he's exploring involves weakening Joanna so that Ingrid and Freya can be brought back to Asgard more easily. Now, his plan, but the question is, what's his plan? His plan is to use a potion to dull Joanna's powers, and basically Tarkoff implores Frederick to take care of take care of it tonight, the night of the dinner, with Caroline and Joanna. So he's in a very tough position. He doesn't really know if he wants to do this. Just a very tough position for him, definitely. Very tough position. So basically, then what happens is, then we get to the dinner, of course, we get to the dinner with the two of them, and what ended up happening, I can't remember what happened. Basically, Caroline is actually quickly charmed. It seems like they're getting off on the right foot, and she's very calmed by Joanna, and only for the evening to take on a very different tone when Tarkoff arrives, which obviously is not good, and he claims he heard about Victor and wanted to pay his respects, but all he succeeds in doing is ratcheting up the pressure on Frederick to slip the vial of potion into Joanna's wine. Now, he's very unsuccessful as getting this part of the plan together, though as Frederick opts to accidentally break Joanna's glass during a toast after putting the potion into her drink to begin with. So, that's what ended up happening there, basically. So that was definitely very interesting the way that worked out. So, after this, I can't remember what happened after this. Basically, sorry guys, this recap is not that organized. Then Joanna ends up grieving Victor due to Tarkoff's presence, reminding her of her former husband. and she goes in for a hug, and Tarkoff gets a lock of her hair, pledges to stay for a while in the East End. After Frederick kisses Caroline goodbye, everything's been going well with Tarkoff, and Tarkoff confronts him about not going through the plan. He didn't go through with it. He wanted him to go through with it, and he didn't, so he's trying to say, hey, why didn't you go through with it? So basically, Tarkoff confronts him about not going through the plan, yet he cannot kill Frederick without there being a host body ready for the king. So Frederick is carrying the king's spirit in his chest, and no one else knows how to handle it, and he's safe, especially since Tarkoff can't cut the spirit out without greatly injuring himself. So Frederick saves himself from injury when he says that they can Mandragora walk and find the host body themselves, though he threatens to kill himself and leave Tarkoff for the king to devour should any harm come to Joanna. He says, you do anything bad to my mother and you will die. So definitely, that's very interesting. Really looking forward to seeing where that's going to go. Definitely wondering, if Frederick is going to go on the plan. Definitely it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. And yeah, I thought that was definitely very interesting. So now let's get to Wendy and Freya. Wendy is kind of obsessed with Tommy. She's denying that she's in love with Tommy and everything. And basically what ended up happening is that Ingrid walks on Freya getting ready for an event, and she's going as Wendy's +1 after Wendy receives 2 tickets from a secretive admirer. And the two are talking about their former desires to go to the gala, and Ingrid's going with Dash, more about that later. And Freya, Freya, Wendy really does not want to go to this event, but Freya tells her, oh, come on, go, it'll be fun and everything. So I thought it was cute that that's happening. Basically, that's what's going to happen here. Wendy and Freya walk around by themselves. Their talk is initially of, Freya's pretty much jealous of Ingrid being with Dash that night. It's quickly replaced with Wendy notices that she's the muse for the exhibit they're looking for, and she doesn't know why. Basically, her lips, her eyes, her necklace, they're all there, and it turns out that the artist is a secretive man who only goes by Seamus, is her ex-husband, Ronan. And she's thrown by a loop for the origins of the art, and the fact that the husband she divorced 3 times stands before her. Wendy hears from Ronan how much of an inspiration she was to his creative process, how he had to channel how much he missed her into this work in order to keep himself from going insane. And he claims it's his love letter to her, and he attempts to get her back into his life. So, he really wants to, he really wants to please her, definitely. We can see that he does really want to please her. So, after this, what happens is that, this was definitely a very, very funny scene. I thought it was definitely very interesting. Basically, Wendy explains to Freya that her relationship with Ronan, while fun, didn't bring out the best in her and initiated at a weird, vulnerable time for her. However, when he cuts in the conversation, it seems like everything's going well. It seems like everything's going well for them. Sure, he reminds her of a trip to Paris that they took, ended with Wendy taking a bullet, and the two begin kissing with Ronan saying that no one will ever know Wendy like he does, but Ronan's lips don't have as much power over Wendy as they once did. And when she learns that Ronan, this is very creepy, what he's doing. This is definitely very creepy. He's been using her hair in his paintings to make up for his lack of artistic talent. She says goodbye to him once and for all. And I was happy she did that, definitely, because this guy was a creeper, definitely. This guy was a creeper, not someone that should be trusted at all. I was happy that Wendy turned him down. Honestly, though, I agree with some people said. We should have had a Wendy flashback episode. I want to see one. I definitely do. We had an Ingrid flashback episode last year, if you guys remember. So why not have a Wendy flashback episode? Definitely, I would really like to see that. I hope we are going to get that at some point this season, because I feel like they're hinting at that, definitely. I definitely feel like they're hinting at a Wendy-centric episode. I feel like they are. But that was definitely a good plot. I enjoyed it. While it was a little bit silly, I still really enjoyed it. And now we're going to get to Ingrid and Dash. Ingrid and Dash, there's a lot going on with them, definitely. A lot going on with Ingrid and Dash. Yeah, so quite a lot going on with them. Basically, Ingrid goes to see Dash, Ingrid goes to see Dash, and Dash finds her at the library and invites her to an art benefit gala thrown by the East End Cotillion for the Arts, same place that Wendy and Freya went to. And basically, when she accepts under the pretense of them going as friends, she really just wants to go as friends, she claims. We can tell they have a lot of chemistry, though. We can really tell that. So when Freya finds out that Ingrid's going with Dash, she is not very happy. One, because that's her ex-fiance. Two, she really doesn't know if it's the best thing to do. So Ingrid explains she has no intention of making this a date. It's just her going out with a friend. And Freya puts her foot down, tells her sister she doesn't want her to go. She doesn't trust Dash after what he told her while under the influence of the Mandragora Venom. He, of course, thought last week that she slept with Killian. So she really does not trust Dash right now. And I understand why, definitely, because just because he was under the Mandragora Venom does not mean that he's not feeling that way. Does not mean that he's not feeling that way about Freya. That does not mean anything. But Ingrid doesn't care, pledges to go to the gala regardless of what Freya says. She's going to go anyway, and basically she's going to go anyway. So they're especially friendly as he tells her that she deserves so much about everything she did for him. And basically, you can see that Freya, as I said, is very jealous of Ingrid and Dash, and they giggle about a strange art buyer before getting on the dance floor together. She broaches the topic of their status, and he claims they're more than just friends. They've been through hell and back together, and they've bonded more than word friendship can quantify. Yet Dash doesn't want to label what they have. He doesn't want to say, oh, we're together, we're not. Not when they both need to get a little lost without having a label to guide them. So Dash's guide mood gets ruined, though, when Kyle Hutton's father, William, comes up to him regarding the disappearance of his son. Kyle's car was found near Fairhaven, and he believes that Dash knows something that he's not saying. So when he gets back to Ingrid after being pulled away, Dash is nobly distracted and ends up claiming a hospital emergency in order to get some time by himself. And, so that was definitely very big, what happened there. Basically, Dash confronts William outside the gala, and when the powerful East End figure claims that he won't stop until he finds out what happened to Kyle, Dash kills him using his powers and makes it look like a heart attack. So given his reputation in town, no one thinks to question anything about the scene, and Dash finds a way to cover up the crime he committed, which had to be covered up by Ingrid. He sticks to his story even with Ingrid, and explains to her that he thought after saving William, but that he didn't want what happened with Sam to happen again. So, having bonded through both being the anchors of their respective families, they actually end up kissing. So, they actually end up getting pretty close, and my question to you guys is this a good thing that Ingrid and Dash together? I don't think it is a good thing. I really don't think Ingrid and Dash together is a good thing. Definitely. It does not seem like it's a good thing at all. And what do you guys think? Do you think Ingrid and Dash together is a good thing? I really feel it's not. I don't. I don't think it's a good thing at all. And yeah, so that's basically what happened with Ingrid and Dash. And the last thing to talk about is Killian and Ava. Killian and Ava, they finally took a break from their sex. They've had sex for 3 episodes? And basically, the two are getting playful on the bed, and Killian sees Ava as an old woman, and the vision, which might be the result of the potion she keeps feeding him, weirds him out, and then, that was definitely very strange. Definitely, that was very strange what's going on there. So yeah, definitely something weird is definitely going on. So Killian gets out of the shower, and he finds a message on his mirror that says not to trust Ava, and checks his phone. After drying off, he sends her out for takeout and checks his phone to find a video that he made of himself when he went in Santo Domingo. It's a wild-eyed plea to not trust Ava. The reason is he doesn't actually love her. He's been spelled to love her all this time, when actually he loves Freya. Now that's huge. He doesn't actually love Ava. That makes perfect sense why I felt there's something going on with her. Definitely, it's all a spell. He's under a spell that makes him thinks he loves Ava, when really all this time he's been in love with Freya. I definitely think that's very interesting. And Killian is tearing at the house he shares with Ava while looking for damning evidence about her motives. When she comes home from he's really on her right now. She grabs a shard of glass from the pitcher he broke, cuts her hand, flings the blood into his eyes, incapacitating him, and she then gets the magical ingredient she uses to spike his drinks, feeds it to him with her finger, causing his entire disposition to change. He forgets about what he learned from the video and falls back in love with her again, never to question what it is he saw on his phone. So, definitely Killian is not in a good place right now. I really like the Killian plot in this episode, though. I thought it was definitely very interesting. And the thing is Killian going to be able to get himself out of this spell? Because he's under the spell right now with Ava, and I'm very interested in seeing what's going to happen here. So let's talk about this episode. First of all, Frederick. I don't know what Frederick's going to do. I don't think he's going to go along with the plan, but the question is, what's going to happen actually? What is he actually going to do here? Is he actually going to go along with this plan? I don't think he wants to hurt his mother. He definitely does not want to hurt his mother, And I don't think he's going to let Tarkoff hurt her either. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. For a while, I was thinking Ingrid and Tarkoff might get together, but not after the end of the episode. Not after what happened at the end. Now, I don't think that. As far as Ingrid and Dash go, do you guys think it's a good thing that they're together? Do you guys feel that way? I don't think it's a good thing, because think about it. They were both under the Mandragora influence. They were both, you know, Dash is not 100% good still. You know, Freya really doesn't trust them, so she doesn't trust Ingrid right now. So I really don't think this whole thing is necessarily a good thing, in my opinion. I don't think it's really that good of a thing. And I'm looking forward to seeing definitely where that's going to go. Wendy, do you guys feel we should get a Wendy flashback-centric episode? I feel we should, definitely. I really would like to see more about Wendy's past. And I really felt bad for Wendy. I mean, it's her last life and everything. She didn't want to use her last life on him. I understand why she put her foot down. As far as Killian goes, I love the stuff we got with Killian this episode. What do you guys think is going to happen with Killian? Of course, Killian, as we know, is under this influence of Ava right now. So, is he going to find a way to get himself to get under this spell? You know, because he really doesn't love her. And I thought that was just a very interesting thing that we found out, that he doesn't really love her. Overall, guys, this episode was very good. I really enjoyed it. Not the best episode of the season, but I still really enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Really, everything's just really building up. This is one of those episodes that was just build, really, and I really love that about this episode. That's it, my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in my next video, which will be my review for The Leftovers. So, I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.